like money, motherfucker? Money be green. Money feel like money. That shit look green to you?
Welcome back to The Mandatory. We got some good betting for you. If you don't already subscribe to the show, make sure you do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on our social media channels. We're at The Mandatory TKO. And if you're listening to this on the audio side, because we are available on wherever you find podcasts, we just had a great intro that probably will only be heard by people that subscribe to the show on audio, which, by the way, you should. And leave a rate and review as well.
Yeah.
Bryan hasn't seen a movie before, and I quoted a line from a movie.
Yeah.
And I won't say it again because you know what? You need to go and listen to it on the audio side because it was hilarious.
A lot of dudes, you know what? I'm not even gonna make that joke. Let's just move on.
All right, we got some good fights coming up on this Thursday. Because of course Formula One in Vegas, so we got the fights on a Thursday, which we normally don't get. I love the Friday fights, but this one I'm kind of feeling on a Thursday. It's gonna go head to head though with Thursday Night Football, so I'm gonna try to be watching a little bit of everything. But the co-main is a really good one. It's Emanuel Navarrete and Robson Conceicao. This one, a great fight. Navarrete a minus 1,300, Robson Conceicao a plus 700. Bryan, how are you betting this one?
Yeah, this is going to be going on the same time as Bengals Ravens, which
I gotta watch. I gotta watch. Like, I'm gonna have like 2 screens up.
I'm gonna have at least 2 bets up. I'll tell you that right now.
By the way, post-fight show as well. We'll be doing that live.
Yes.
So make sure to join us.
We'll remind them again at the end of the show as well. That's a great call. But yeah, Emanuel Navarrete. The odds for this are out. Emanuel Navarrete is a mega favorite. As is his next fight we'll be talking about, similarly priced. But as of this recording, even the knockout odds aren't available yet. But we're going to just call what we're looking to bet on regardless, because obviously we're not going to give you a minus 1,300 bet here. For me, this is Emanuel Navarrete by knockout all the way. Now, depending on the price, I will probably parlay it if it's, let's say, longer than or shorter than minus 175 or something along those lines. If it gets to minus 200, I'm just going to, put in a parlay or whatever the case may be. It could stand alone if it's like minus 150 or something like that, which could be the case because Robson Conceicao is tough challenger who Shakur Stevenson beat before, who Oscar Valdez beat before, but has never been dropped, never been stopped at the very least. And I think that with Emanuel Navarrete, he's just an unbelievable pressure fighter who I felt like could have finished Oscar Valdez. But Oscar Valdez was just another level of tough that night when they fought not that long ago, as a matter of fact. So like that, Emanuel Navarrete is also staying active here. Where I'm going to lean for when the odds come out is just Navarrete straight up by knockout. But if I had to just sort of get better odds due to group round betting, if the knockout is like minus 300 or something along those lines, and I'm going to look at 7-12. I'm going to look for a sort of later stoppage because I think Robson Conceicao is going to, sort of tough it out for a while. But I think that as a pro, he's a great amateur, but as a pro, kind of predictable once you get to these level of fighters. And I think Navarrete is going to sort of figure him out. I don't expect him to struggle a ton. He gets hit, but I don't think this is the kind of puncher that I would worry about. I was much more worried about Oscar Valdez sort of getting to Emanuel Navarrete. And Navarrete is just long and can hit you from weird angles and has a bionic chin and doesn't really care how much you hit him. He can keep coming forward. He's just a classic Mexican-style fighter, but he's very, very smart as well. And I just think he's going to have a big, big night, perhaps the performance of the night.
All right, so Emanuel Navarrete's last fight against Oscar Valdez, I actually took Oscar Valdez because I was like, Valdez is a power puncher. He's one of my favorite boxers. And we all know that Emanuel Navarrete gets hit a lot. But in that fight, I think Emanuel Navarrete really proved me wrong because I was always like, someone's going to drop him at some point. Someone did drop him. There was a fight where he did get dropped. Let's keep that in mind. But I was like, someone's going to stop him at some point because of the way that he fights. He can be reckless at times. He can be defensively irresponsible. But he's got a chin of steel at the same time. Like, he'll take the shots, figure it out, get back up, and just do Emanuel Navarrete things. He's kind of unconventional. He's like has a different type of body, power puncher. He's relentless. He's gonna come forward and he's gonna figure you out. Nasty uppercut. And Robson Conceicao, he is a formidable opponent. Like Robson Conceicao is not a layup at all. At one point, this is crazy. Robson Conceicao is 35 years old now, which is crazy to me.
Amateur for a minute.
At one point, remember how Top Rank was trying to push him? And then Robson Conceicao, like he turned amateur, he turned pro a little bit later than he should have. But he was one of the stories coming up where everyone was kind of talking about him and what he could have been. But he's one of those guys that's very skilled. And I think at some points in this fight, he's going to have good moments in this fight. But I think Emanuel Navarrete is going to break him down because Robson Conceicao doesn't have that power. He's more of a skilled boxer that's going to land some punches here and there, throw some nice combos, and try to break you down throughout the fight. But I don't think that's going to happen to a guy like Emanuel Navarrete. Will Robson Conceicao land some shots on Navarrete? Yes, but I don't think it's going to do any damage to Navarrete. So for me, I like Navarrete by knockout. The odds actually haven't really come out yet for that. I like the alternative group round betting. That's where I think I'm going to make my money. And what I would actually look for is rounds 10 through 12 because Robson Conceicao has never actually been stopped before. He's lost fights, but he's never been stopped before because he's tough. And I don't think it's going to happen against a guy like Emanuel Navarrete that early. Like, I don't think Navarrete is going to come in and just knock him out in the first 6 rounds. I think Navarrete is going to slowly break him down where there's a stoppage. And I think that's going to happen in rounds 10 through 12. And usually the odds for that is a little bit better. They haven't come out yet because we're previewing this fight 6 days before. But make sure you go look at that. But I do have Emanuel Navarrete winning by knockout, and that's the bet I'm going to be going for. But this one, I think, could be a really good performance. And it's not going to be an easy fight. Like, I think some people, like, this is a little bit disrespectful, I feel like, a plus 700 for Robson Conceicao because he is a good boxer.
Yeah, if Emanuel Navarrete is sort of, I mean, doesn't train well or something along those lines, or if he just struggles with the sort of awkward style.
He does get tired. He does get tired pretty fast. He does gas out at times.
And if he struggles with sort of the awkward style that Conceicao presents, then sure. Shakur Stevenson was able to take care of that very easily. Conceicao is probably going to try to clinch a lot when he's on the inside, which is going to be interesting because I'm not sure that with Navarrete's length that he should be trying to fight from the outside. Navarrete is only 5'7", but has a 72-inch reach. And Conceicao, again, like he is somebody who, while he's taller, not the longer fighter here. So I'm curious to see what sort of strategy he's going to employ. I think it's going to be trying to get in between those looping shots of Emanuel Navarrete and just trying to like pick him apart, different angles, get inside and out very quickly, really rely on his speed. But I wonder how the conditioning is sort of going to be here. Still hasn't won a fight since, before the Shakur Stevenson fight, where he fought a dude named Xavier Martinez. This was early in 2022. And then Oscar Valdez obviously gave him the other loss. So it hasn't been a great run for him. And Conceicao, interestingly enough, he did lose a point in that Oscar Valdez fight for sort of hitting behind the head in round 9. And Shakur Stevenson was complaining about him holding a lot and, doing some of that shit. So I wonder if he's going to try to play just some sort of roughhouse.
He has to.
With Emanuel Navarrete and sort of make it ugly, which I think is probably his best shot at winning, is making it like sort of a bully Sean Porter style fight.
I don't think that's going to work, though. I don't think it's going to work against a guy like Emanuel Navarrete, because the one thing that we've seen from Navarrete is you might think like is he going to lose this fight, and then boom, all of a sudden he knocks you on your ass. Like that's the type of boxer he is. But here at the Mandatory, we want to know how you're going to be betting for this fight. So drop your comments below. Drop your slips as well. If you're going to maybe take the underdog, is this the fight that Emanuel Navarrete loses? Let us know. Drop some comments below. Also follow us on our social media channels. All right, now let's